Let's get another check on Palantir, which is now up 16%. They had a beat on the top line, a beat on the bottom line, strong guidance for full year 2025 free cash flow better than expected as well. It's a stock that has divided analysts, even as it soared nearly 400% in the past 12 months.
I was totally wrong about Palantir, and here's why. Back on June 28, 2024, I made this video about Palantir. You can't miss the next company, and that is the Palantir Technologies. Palantir uses NVIDIA's powerful GPUs to run its advanced data analytics and AI-driven decision-making software essential for extracting insights from big data. And interesting facts are that the core business specializes in big data analytics and AI-driven decision-making software. AI focus. Palantir's platforms like Palantir Foundry leverage AI to help organizations make data-driven decisions. Their software is used in government, healthcare, and finance sectors. Growth potential. Long-term contracts with major government agencies and commercial clients provide a steady revenue and growth opportunities. Why Palantir is a great addition to your portfolio. Palantir software platforms are designed to analyze massive data sets and extract actionable insights. This capability is crucial for organizations looking to harness the power of big data and AI to drive strategic decisions. They continue to innovate with its AI-driven platforms, enabling more efficient and accurate decision-making processes. The ability to integrate and analyze data sources sets Palantir apart from competitors. At that time, I was really into the company because they stood out when I looked into the numbers. But today, I have to be honest with you. I was wrong. Not because I misjudged the company's potential, but because even in my wildest dreams, I never expected Palantir to grow this rapidly in such a short time. Let's be real here, a 400% plus increase in just under 8 months. That's insane. But it gets more insane if you look to the recent Q4 numbers of Palantir. But before we dive into the numbers, I want you to know why this company is growing so rapidly.
Like at Palantir, we really don't focus on quote unquote competition. We focus on how do we execute, how do we make it better, how do we make the products how do we create the most value ever seen in this area that we're in coding. Again, from a tech building perspective, the most important thing is what am I doing to make my product better, my offering better. Better is defined by more value, cheaper, and arguably faster, where it's really the most value, the fastest way possible, are the two parameters around like the way Palantir is organized internally with complete honesty, like it's and with a total disregard for how you're supposed to do it. Like there's a certain way you're supposed to build software. There's a certain way you're supposed to build a company. There's a certain way you're supposed to build all sorts of things. It all doesn't matter. You have to build it so that you get the maximum value proposition at years or decades before anyone else could do it at a speed and cost that the customer could never do for themselves.
In the fourth quarter of last year, Palantir hit a record-breaking revenue of $828 million. That's a 14% jump compared to the previous quarter, $726 million, and an impressive 36% increase from the same period the year before. And you know, this kind of growth shows how fast Palantir is scaling, both in government and commercial sectors, proving that their AI and data-driven solutions are in high demand. So let's look a bit further, because Palantir's US revenue surged 52%, reaching $558 million in the final 3 months of 2024. For the full year, the US business generated over $1.9 billion, and that's insane, right? Now making up 66% of total sales, a clear sign of how dominant Palantir has become in its market. So how come that Palantir is growing so rapidly? Let's look at some core beliefs of the company.
You know, it was like, how do we do something valuable? How do we make the value so great that even though no one wants to talk to us or be with us, that they will buy the product and keep buying it for their sake? And then a derivative of that.
These are the questions that we get from investors and analysts.
And then a derivative of that, of course, we're going to get paid because we create a lot of value. And the fundamental limit for Palantir is, can we keep up with the adoption that you're seeing, especially in U.S. commercial, which is just like, we do not have enough people. We do not have, we have a nascent sales force. We're doing our best. We have all these companies that are training on installing Palantir. They're getting up and running. We're doing our best. Yeah. What can we do?
But what's even more exciting is the explosive growth in the US commercial revenue. In Q4 alone, commercial sales skyrocketed 64% year over year and 20% quarter over quarter, hitting at $214 million. And this proves that Palantir's AI-driven solutions are rapidly gaining traction beyond government contracts, with major enterprises now turning to their technology to optimize operations and make smarter decisions. And Palantir isn't slowing down. For Q1 2024, they expect even more growth, with projected revenue between $858 million and $862 million. That's another strong step forward. And on top of that, their adjusted income from operations is expected to land between $354 million and $358 million, showing just how profitable the company has become. And these numbers reinforce that Palantir is not just riding a short-term hype wave. It's building a sustainable, high-growth AI powerhouse that continues to scale rapidly. And the reason behind this is that Alex Karp firmly believes that software isn't just a tool. It makes your company fundamentally better at what it does. He challenges companies to ask themselves these kind of core questions.
A software company is intended to make your company better at what it does, not parasitically transfer the revenue back to basically the provider of the parasite under better, favorable financial terms. A institution has a core mission. What is that core mission? Does it execute it? Does it execute against it in the cheapest, most efficient, and safest way? There may be many ways to do that, but one way that I think people can increasingly see that works is by Palantir, installing software. Yeah. Software is the most efficient way to change your unit economics. There is nothing like installing software that actually is transformative for changing the unit economics of your business, both on the top end and on the cost structure. And you can do it very, very quickly.
And one of the biggest questions I get is, Maurice, Palantir is doing great, but how can I invest in it safely? So let's be real, because investing in an individual company or an individual stock carries risk, especially when it's trading at a high valuation. That's why I personally keep Palantir as only about 1% of my total portfolio. This way I get exposure to its upside without taking unnecessary risk. But here's the good news. You don't have to buy Palantir stock directly to invest in it. Palantir was recently added to major indexes like the S&P 500 and the Nasdaq 100. So if you invest $10,000 in an S&P 500 ETF or in the Nasdaq 100, a portion of that goes into Palantir automatically. But if you invest in growth ETFs like QQQM and SCHG, which I've talked about before in this channel, you are also good to go. As Palantir keeps on growing, its weight in these ETFs will also increase, meaning that you get more exposure without the risk of betting on one single stock. And this is exactly why I love ETFs and why I teach the 3 ETF portfolio strategy, which I break down in this video. So let me know in the comments below, where do you see Palantir going in the next year or so? Do you think it still has room to run, or it's getting overvalued? I look forward to hearing your thoughts and see you in the next video.